Well, if it's all about bums on stools, what do you have to do to get people through the door? Today we're in West Yorkshire, but last week I was in the Red Rose County of Lancashire. Mark Cutter is a former barrister and medical ethics academic, and he led a research team looking at the effects of alcohol law on social behaviour. And he got fed up with telling people how pubs should be and decided to put his words into practice. And I went to meet him at his pub, the Robert Gillow in Lancaster.
Well, our entire business model is based around pubs being places where people can come together.
The Robert Gillow is an odd 3-storey building in the heart of Lancaster. Higgledy, slightly elderly, but very comfortable sofas, 4-legged tables, and more importantly, for 7 o'clock on a weekday evening, Mark Cutter has customers.
So the reason we're meeting upstairs at the moment is because downstairs in the main bar, there's a public lecture as part of something called Café Scientifique, where a speaker from the university is currently presenting his research around the nuclear industry to a public audience.
There's been a lot of data gathered from the atom bomb survivors.
But anybody who's come in just for a drink or a bite to eat also gets to enjoy a talk.
Records the doses to which everyone's been exposed.
I came for the Café Scientifique first time.
And what do you think of it?
I think it's a great atmosphere. It's really nice. We've stayed on after the event's finished, and I'll be back, yes, I think.
Pubs have to change by the nature of things. People are counting every penny that they spend, and so they've got to have value for money. And what they're doing is adding to the normal pint of beer by lectures or intelligent conversations or music. And there's a dramatic change in what was a traditional pub.
Café Scientifique is a worldwide network of venues where, for the price of a drink, alcohol or otherwise, anyone can come to explore the latest ideas in science and technology. One previous pub speaker, Dr. Rebecca Whittall, says the pub is a perfect place.
I think it's a great idea because it's basically the principle that for the price of a pint, anyone can come, and it's getting science out there in the community and allowing people to ask questions that they might otherwise not have the opportunity to ask, or they might be afraid to ask. So,
what was your talk about?
Mine was about local food and community growing, so some really good case studies of that in Lancaster, so it was really nice to bring all the people involved in that along to the pub as well to hear the talk.
As well as lectures, there's live music throughout the day and the evening, and even poker nights upstairs. But Mark Cutter says it's more about what you do with the space to make people want to be in it.
We try and make the space available to lots of different people, and also try and create an environment where everybody feels welcome. If you look along the bar at the moment, I can point to a local journalist, the head of a local building firm, and actually our local postmen are all sat along the bar, the manager from the local branch of Waterstones, 2 people from the university. The entire walk of life of Lancaster is sitting at the bar right now. Pubs shouldn't be seen as dens of iniquity or places where you just go for a drink. They should be places where community can be developed.
It's all very well developing community and having groups of people, but they've got a drink to pay you. How do you make any money if they all sit there just having a lovely time?
Well, that is the big problem, and one of the things we have to do, I think, is provide a nice range of products focused on quality. Now, that's very difficult to do in the current economic climate because people are looking for a saving. So we have selected products very carefully that are made by local producers. We've got currently a beer festival downstairs with 49 different beers from across the northwest, all of them made by microbreweries.
Matt, you're a barman here.
Yeah, I work here, I tend the bar, and occasionally I play a bit of music here too.
The bar is unusual in that it serves a lot of products that you don't get in normal pubs. I mean, we're looking at gins I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Beers that I've become remarkably familiar with very recently.
They're really good though, aren't they?
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I used to work in a pub back in my hometown of Bolton, and it didn't sell anything anywhere near the range. Basically, you would just spend days pulling pints of average bitter, average lager. And although we do sell lager and stuff in here, the amount of beers I've actually been able to try since I started here, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, but you work here. What about the customers?
I work here, but you still have to try the products. There's not much point in working somewhere and not knowing what you're selling. At least if I've tried them, I can recommend something.
But this is a tied pub with hides. So yeah. I'm looking at, your standard Woodworth 6X, Hyde's, Originals, St George's. You know, these are familiar beers that ordinary drinkers would recognise. Behind the bar is quite different, and a coffee machine.
We open for breakfast at 8:30 in the morning. Most people, you're not going to want a pint with your breakfast. We do sell quite a lot of hot drinks, coffees, teas, hot chocolates. I think what we sell most of tends to be the stuff people haven't seen before, the stuff people haven't tried. Or the people that have tried it definitely come back for more because you can't get it anywhere else.
Mark's ethos of using space imaginatively started in 2010 in his first pub round the corner. Right, well, we've arrived at the Lord Ashton, which is a Thwaites pub, and it's a very different feeling walking through the front door. When Mark took over, the Lord Ashton was the tiniest pub in Lancaster, partly derelict and without prospects. Now, Mark offers the public bar as a rehearsal space, free for any band who wants it. The musicians stand shoulder to shoulder with people playing darts or pool. In this tiny space, Mark has a licence for theatre events, and on the white walls of a former derelict kitchen, now art gallery at the back of the pub, hang avant-garde pictures. Outside, for this driven man, it goes on. Mark, it never seems to stop for you. I mean, if you're not broke in the next few months, you have even more plans.
Yes, I'm just taking
out the back
outside to what's loosely called the beer garden, but
this is not a beer garden.
No, when we first took over this pub,
this is an outside loo.
This was an outside loo. This was the only men's toilets. Now the toilets are indoors now, and our idea is that we'll turn that space that used to be the men's toilets into a small microbrewery, just small enough to make enough beer to fill one cask for the pub for every week. And the idea is we're going to work on what I'm going to call an amateur microbrewery basis, because, as with many things, I haven't really got a clue what I'm doing. I've just got a few nice ideas. So we've got a small brewery kit coming. The room's going to be made good, because obviously at the moment it's completely derelict, much like we've done with the art gallery space. And then I'm going to work together with the local branch of Camera and other kind of beer enthusiasts, and I aim to make a different beer every fortnight for a year, number 1 to 26, and have tasting comments done on each of the beers until we find the ones that people like. And some of them I'm sure will be disastrous, but hopefully somewhere in there we'll find the next beer of the year. That was Mark Cutter in his pub, the Robert Gillow and the Lord Ashton in Lancaster. Well, you're listening